Well, I've known Chris probably for, I don't know, 20 years, 25 years. We kind of both came from the same background, the media. She, of course, spent many years with the News Journal as a writer. We were all taught to hate each other at that time. We were competitive. But I think that's part of what I think drives Chris. There's a competitiveness, there's a curiosity that I think most people in the media have that lends itself to asking the right questions, getting involved.
I've known Chris for many, many years. She is, if anyone was to be cloned, I'd love to have Chris cloned, because she has all of those attributes that I love to see, not only in women, but in men as well.
Well, I think Chris has all the attributes this award really typifies. She's bright, she's energetic, very, very smart, decisive. I would describe Chris as always being on her A game. She shows up in full force, and you know she's always playing the game to win.
Well, Chris worked at the News Journal for 14 years as a reporter, and during that period of time, she was primarily a features writer. And one of the key elements of Chris's writing and her approach to her stories was that she was always focusing on positive things. Her work always tended to gravitate to the positive.
We have two children. We have a son who's 36, and he's the head tennis coach at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. And he's married. His wife's name is Joy, and they have two children, Jackson, who is 5, and Mason, who is 2. Our daughter, Nicole, is married, and she lives in Kansas City, and she's the vice president of operations for Platform Advertising, which is a large advertising agency there. She also has 2 children, a 2-year-old and a 10-month-old.
While she was traveling so much, she was still able to keep her finger on the pulse of what was happening, and I suppose it was through being associated with the Chamber, associated with REDEC and the other organizations to which she lent her, not just her name and the name of the organization she represented, but also her expertise. There are a lot of people who are interested. There are fewer people who really want to become involved, and I think that's important.
But she has that pizzazz about her and understanding that you can only have if you have a sense of humor. And that she has. And I always laugh at her because I say, well, I've got to keep you as a good friend because you've got too much on me. You know me too well.
She's very people-oriented. One of the key elements of being a good reporter is to be easy to talk to. And Chris is easy to talk to, easy to communicate with. She had the ability to make people feel comfortable when she was interviewing them. And certainly that facilitated communication and got us a lot of good stories. But her ability to relate well to people is a real strength.
Well, I often thought, anyone running for political office would want Chris to manage their campaign because she could just get to the heart of the message, figure a way to package it, and make it just sound so great. So I thought if ever I wanted to run for some political office, she would be the campaign manager you want to pick.
When we got back to Ohio, I think the first cake she baked, she put the icing and the cake mix together, and when it came out of the oven, we were able to use it as a doorstop for about 2 months. I mean, it was hard as a rock. But cooking has never been her forte. She's always been fully employed and has done a great job along those lines. So we eat out a lot.
She's one of those people, and there aren't too many of us left anymore, who love Mansfield, who believe in the community, and are willing to work for the community. And we'll give a lot of ourselves to that community. And I'm so glad she's here, because this is important. We need people like that who are willing to stick around and say, I'm going to be here and I'm going to help.
Again, Chris, one of the specialties she had when she was a reporter with us is she liked to do profiles, people profiles, usually someone, a newsmaker in the community or somebody fairly prominent in the community. And she did a number of those with us, and they were very well read. I like to say that Chris was sort of our answer to Barbara Walters in doing those kind of interviews, but she did a great job, and it was one of her real strengths.
I'm very, very proud of her. I think that her success has been probably based on a couple of areas. She's a great leader of people, and she's also a very, very effective decision maker. And I think that's probably based on her genuine concern for the people she works with, and that really comes through, and her ability to obtain and evaluate information and make decisions in a timely manner. So I'm very proud of her, and she's been a very effective leader and manager of people.